You guys are super creative and I love it. What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be doing part 2 of reading your headcanons, theories, and thoughts on Demon Slayer. I had a lot of fun doing this the first time, so we're gonna get through some more this time. I'm going to say this right now, there will be manga spoilers. I think every single one that I have on the docket today has manga spoilers in it, so keep that in mind. If you are not a manga reader and don't want to get spoiled, put a pin in this video and come back after you read it or the anime finishes, because some of this has to do with the very end of the story. And also, if you want to be in one of these videos, there is a community post asking for your headcanon, so make sure you comment on there. If I don't get to you today, you do not need to re-comment. All of my headcanons I hope to get to everyone at some point. However, if I don't get to you today, you might be in another video. Feel free to just leave it there. I will get to it. I'm kind of doing this time-wise, so I'm only getting through like 4 or 5 a video. But I'm going to give my honest thoughts on these headcanons. I might agree or I might disagree. I'm going to be very respectful about my opinion because these are all subjective. They are just headcanons and thoughts. However, if I disagree with your headcanon or theory, don't feel like offended. It just is my opinion. You can have yours. I am not the know-all be-all person, so don't worry about it. But before we dive into today's headcanons, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on today's video. But with that, let's get into it. Our first one comes from David K.L. Besic 827, and they write, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke, Kanao, Genya all became Hashira during the final battle. I don't care about the damn rankings and rules that are set for becoming one. They absolutely don't apply for their situation. The squad helped defeat literally the strongest demons to ever exist. The demons they defeated have killed hundreds of Hashira, and yet most of our final selection group survived. They themselves were probably stronger than some officially named Hashira of the past. Some of them died to Daki, remember? There's a whole other paragraph, but I'm gonna stop there because I definitely agree with this. I personally headcanon that all of them become Hashira. There just wasn't a ceremony or anything. I honestly think Tanjiro was a Hashira before the start. They were just training and they didn't really have time because the situation prior to that final battle was just so different from normal. The Demon Slayer core wasn't working the way it normally did. So I think there was just a lot of things that kind of just never happened because of the circumstances that they were under. And one of those being that I think Tanjiro was probably ready to take on the role of Hashira following the Swordsmith Village, or at least following all of his training at the Hashira training. He just never got the opportunity to be officially announced that because everything happened, Muzan showed up, and then that was the end that night. So I definitely agree with them all being Hashira. I think they just never officially got that title because there was just never a point to it. I do wish that they had been included in that final meeting with Giyu and Sanemi. I think that them being left out maybe had to do with their injuries, but they do say in the Tanjiro status report, which is a year following it, that they were getting like tons of money sent to them by Kiriya, and I think that that kind of is a sign that they were technically Hashira. There was just no reason to officially tell them because the Demon Slayer Corps disbanded. There was no reason for it. But good headcanon, I definitely agree. Alright, this is submitted from Cheeky Nugget 27, and they say, this one's fun, Muzan will get reincarnated as Michael Jackson. Sure, why not? Something I found interesting, I thought that calling Muzan Michael Jackson was more of a Western culture joke, and since I started working with my Japanese teacher, who is Japanese, she said that this is actually very common in Japan for people to be like, oh, he looks like Michael Jackson. So sure, why not? He got reincarnated as Michael Jackson. We'll go along with it. Since that one's kind of fun and short, I will talk about the second headcanon that they posted. The survivors made a monument thing to honor the Demon Slayers who shielded the Hashira. I definitely agree with the way that Tanjiro reacted to these Demon Slayers that jumped in front of him, and just how much you could see on his face, even in the manga format, that he was just heartbroken and shocked that they were doing that. I think Tanjiro definitely led the team to like, hey, let's make a monument. They sacrificed themselves for the greater good, knowing that we were the only ones that were capable of inflicting damage. So I really like that idea and that they visit. I also just think that the survivors visited like the graves and everyone quite often. Thank you for submitting. I agree. All right, next one is Elena Sparkling. Thank you so much. They say, hear me out. After the final battle with Muzan, the main trio went to make families, so Nezuzen, Tankana, and Ino Aoi, and Giyu and Sanemi didn't marry anyone till their death. If you know, you know. So, obviously, this is just kind of canon. It is canon that Nezuzen, Tankana, and Ino Aoi, so Zenitsu and Nezuko, Tanjiro and Kanao, and Inosuke and Aoi, they all got married and had children. This is canon because that final chapter shows their descendants, and they very specifically said before that chapter or after that chapter who had descendants and who had reincarnation. So the descendants are people who had kids, and then the reincarnations are usually the people who died in battle. Sanemi and Giyu did have descendants, so I don't agree. Do I wish that maybe they just never married, and I feel like the fact that they did and they had kids and died at 25 is very wrong. That more supports my opinion that I don't think anyone died before 25. I think that ended at the death of Muzan, which I'll probably make a video on that at some point. I just don't know how to title it without spoilers, so we'll see how that goes. But personally, I am a Sana-Giyu shipper, but that's more of just a fun idea that they fell in love, but canonically they got married and had kids to unnamed wives. But I like to think that they stayed together until they turned 25. It's hard to say because I don't think they died before 25. I think they all lived long and healthy lives. Is that me coping? Maybe. I agree in a sense where, yeah, I know the main trio all went to have kids because it's canon, but I don't agree that Sanemi and Giyu didn't marry because it's canon that they did, but it's fun to come up with different things, right? This is submitted from Kifi22, and they write, you know how Yushiro's blood demon art resolves around revealing and blinding from one sight? What if he was somehow blind because of the sickness that he had? Very possible. It's very possible since a lot of demons, their blood demon art kind of revolves around their human lives. So I think it's very possible that maybe the sickness did make him blind. And I don't really have anything else to say. I like Yushiro as a character, but I don't have many thoughts on him in general. So I would say, yes, I agree. Maybe he was blind, so his blood demon art has to do with that blindness that he had. Thank you for submitting. Our next one is submitted from Verselli22, and they write, I think that Daki could have reached a higher rank, because if her attack speed was faster and she didn't rely on her brother so much, she probably would have reached rank 5. So I'm going to be honest, I disagree with this one. Unfortunately, it is canon that Daki was quite a bit weaker than her brother, so he would have been probably ranked 4 if it weren't for her, but I don't think she would have even made the upper ranks if she didn't have Gyutaro, because Tengen was able to take her down easily, as easy as Giyu took down Rui. So I think Daki at best would have been lower rank if it weren't for Gyutaro. Yes, Tanjiro did struggle against her, but even he was pretty much able to behead her. Everyone on the squad, I guess Tanjiro was the only one who never actually beheaded her or something like that. So yeah, I think that Daki unfortunately was never going to be able to get higher and would have been lower if it weren't for her brother, not higher. But thanks for submitting, and I very much respect your opinion on that. Okay, this is a long one, and I think I'm going to need to read the entire thing to get the point across. So this is actually going to be the last one for this video, but again, don't worry if I didn't read yours. I might still get to it in a part 3, okay? So this one is submitted from Gred and Forge, which I love that name, by the way, because that's a take on Fred and George from Harry Potter. Gotcha. And they write, I've seen this one on a YouTube short, but I can't find it to properly credit the OP. If I find it, I will edit. But it suggests in a scene from episode 6 of the Swordsmith Village arc that Sanemi and Giyu might have grown up in the same village. When Sanemi and Genya are walking together and talking about their father's death and how they will have to take care of their family, they pass by a woman and a girl talking. You can see the girl from behind, but she has her hair in a braid with a bow and wears a reddish color haori like Giyu's sister Tsutako. I want to take this a step further and add in my theory that Sanemi's mom was the demon that killed Tsutako. Giyu was considered by the villagers to have gone mad from his sister's death because no one believed him when he said a demon killed his sister, and if it was Sanemi's mom, Sanemi and Genya wouldn't have been able to confirm Giyu's story because Sanemi left the morning after he killed his mom. Genya would have likely been too busy dealing with the guilt of his words to Sanemi and mourning his family's death to hear about a kid talking about a demon killed his sister. I like this idea. So, first of all, I have seen the theory that that woman that we see the back of her head was Tsutako. I don't know if I agree with that. It very well could have been an Easter egg that Ufotable just threw in, but I don't think that there was really any reason behind them throwing that in there. But I do like the idea that maybe they were from the same village. As far as it was Sanemi's mom that killed Tsutako, I feel like we see the demon that kills his sister at some point in the manga. I could be totally wrong and totally forgetting this, but I like the idea. I don't really know if I have an opinion on this theory. I think it's a fun theory. I don't really have any evidence to be against it. However, I don't know if I fully agree with it, if that makes any sense. I like the idea, and I might have to do a little bit more research on it. But it is a very fun idea, so you know what? Why not? It could be a cool idea. It's just been a while since I've read the manga. I'm trying to wait until after the movies come out so that it can be a little bit more fresh when I watch it. So maybe I'm just misremembering. Anyway, cool theory. I like it. It's interesting and very creative, so thanks for throwing that out there. But with that, that's going to be it for today's video. Like I said, if I didn't get to you, just keep commenting on it, but if you already commented, you do not need to comment again because I still can see it. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, if you liked the video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on the theories and headcanons that we had today. There will be a part 3 that will be coming out within the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for that. But other than that, thank you so much for watching today's video. Mata ne!